Hey, Victory here with another episode of Victory to You. Today I'm dealing with my fire pit that every year I've been painting it. With all the freeze thaw, it's finally just disintegrated and it's looking pretty bad. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to cut some tile, a basalt tile, and put it on the surface so that I won't have to paint it anymore, and hopefully that'll last more than a few years. So here's what I'm going to do. Well, it helps that I've got some basalt tile here left over from building the house. These are 24 by 16 tiles. So we're going to have to cut them down. I need strips 7 1/4 inches wide. So we'll just do that on the tile saw. Very nice. So we need 16 and an 8. 16 and an 8. That's the two ends on each side cut. So we just need to measure almost exactly 3 feet there. We're about a 1/16 under over here. So we'll go 18 minus a touch. Perfect. Well, we've got all the pieces cut now and laid out, and looks good. What we'll do is we're just gonna mark them so we know where they go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use thin set to glue our tiles on here. And what we need to have is some tooth. And what that is if you can see here, I've cut some slots in there, and I'm using a grinder. So a 4-inch grinder with a diamond wheel on it. Now when you're doing this, there's a couple things to do. One thing is you have no idea what's in here. There's all kinds of fiberglass cloth. It's made in China. You don't know what they put in there. So a dust mask is a good idea. And the other thing is to wet it down, and that'll keep the dust down. So first thing we'll do is just give it a spray. And don't be using like your COVID mask. That won't cut it. You need something that'll capture the fine particles. 3M. And make sure it cuts well. So you can notice I'm wearing glasses, so I'm not going to wear goggles. But if you don't wear glasses, have eye protection. Well, we're going to use thin set to glue this down. Normally I'd use the additive to give it a little bit more flex, but I don't have any, so we're just going to go with straight thin set. Measured out an amount, and we've got the equivalent amount of water there. Mix it up in this bucket and It's good to have a good drill with a big mixing wand on it. A few other tools we're going to use. We need a notch trowel to put it on, and I always like using the corner tool. That's just to go into the bucket to get the goop out. And we got a few other little trowels just so we can do edges. So 1.5 inches, a 1/2 inch, and a 1/4 inch. So add the water first. Add the thin set to the water. And now mix it up. Once we've mixed that, we have to leave it set up for 5 minutes. So we'll just get any looseness off here. Just using a wire brush. I'm just going to give this a bit of a mist so that it doesn't draw the moisture out of the mortar. Once we've let this set up, then we got to mix it again. So, and then it'll be ready. Well, our mud's all ready. This is where I really like the corner tool, because you can just go into the bucket and it's kind of like a spoon. I always like to butter the back side just to make sure that everything is covered. And that is A. So we'll just put A down there. We're not going to apply any pressure to them, just let them float. B. Okay, what comes after B? Well, we just have to leave it now and let it cure. We'll leave it overnight, let it harden up well, and clean it up, and eventually we'll put a sealant on it. But that's it for now. Well, it's the next day, and everything is solid as a rock. So now we're going to have to prep for painting. So we're going to paint the sides black, and we'll paint the center lid black as well, and the interior. So what we need to do is sand all the outside edges. We'll just use a palm sander for that. So one last thing I want to do is I'm going to take the edge off this, because this is fairly sharp. So if somebody bangs against it, it can actually hurt. So we just want to round off that, an 1/8 inch round off. I've got a flat disc on here, which will do the job. That's made all the difference there, just to soften that edge. So we'll do that all the way around. We're ready to paint, and I'm going to use my favorite outdoor or even indoor paint. This is the Tremclad latex-based rust paint. I actually got this on for half price because they were clearing it out. So I hope they're not discontinuing it, because this is great stuff. And the way you can tell it's great stuff is that it's very difficult to get off your hands. So if you do use it, wear gloves, because it takes days to get it off your hands. But excellent product. Ended up putting 3 coats on it, and on the lid as well. So we are ready to finish it off. We need to put our rocks back in, but first of all, what we need to do is put a sealant on the stone. The sealant I'm going to use is Enrichment Seal. That's because this is a natural stone, and we really want it to be the dark color. So we'll just put this on with a foam brush and then wipe it off. There's what it looks like when it's sealed. So you can see how much nicer it is, nice and dark. Looking good. We just have to let that dry for 5-10 minutes maybe, and then wipe off any excess. And I'm going to give it a second coat. And once we do that, put the rocks in and we're done. Brand new fire pit. Fire pit is ready. Yes. Perfect.